Hi, my name is
Hi,
Deepavali,
me, Bappy.
and we wanted to do our thoughts on Steel Rain 2.
Summit. No, that's the full name. Steel Ring 2 Summit.
This is one of my most favorite Korean movies that I've ever watched.
It's written and directed by Young Woo Suk, or it's Woo Suk Young. I don't know what is the correct way to pronounce it, so apologies for that. But I think this writer director's name should be known,
He's also apparently a webcomic writer.
and artist.
I really love the way this movie tells its story.
It's a geopolitical thriller with military action. Think Tom Clancy stories. If you haven't read any Tom Clancy novel, that's his basically thing. He takes real geopolitical issues and writes fictional scenarios regarding them. So it always usually includes militaries from different countries, espionage from different countries, well, figures from different countries. He will have them fictionalized, but the characters are usually real because you have to portray the realistic scenario. So while the names may say something, while you read the dialogues and you'll go, oh, I know which political character he's talking about. I know which real. This movie is no different. It does it so well.
I don't want to mispronounce any of the names, so I'm just going to refer to the three main characters as the President of South Korea, the President of the US, and the Chairman of North Korea.
The South Korean president was most likely named Jung Woo Sung. Awesome performance. North Korean chairman was Woo Young Seok. That's how I would guess the pronunciation.
Yeah.
They both gave such amazing performance and acting. But I loved it. That's it. Like, I usually watch Hollywood or our Indian films, but
I'm a massive fan of like Korean K-drama series, and I watch a lot of them, and I love Korean storytelling. It is so beautifully compelling, and this movie epitomizes that.
absolutely. For me, I was shocked that I could get this level of good acting and performance in a geopolitical thriller, military action thriller in 2020. This movie was made in 2020.
This movie makes me happy. This movie makes me feel like I'm gonna watch this, and afterwards, just as art itself, it is so compelling, and it makes you think. It makes you think about the state of our world. It makes you think about how politics like unfolds, international relations, and even the exploration of family dynamics, work dynamics,
Oh,
the chain of command within the military, the chain of command within like
politics.
politics, the chain of command even when you look at a family. It just breaks it down to these core dynamics that are so compelling, and I wanted to like learn more about each character as the story was unfolding. And I have to say something about Korean film and TV series that I appreciate is that I look at the characters and go like, I would want to meet that person.
Yes.
Just to understand them more, know more about them. It draws you in. You don't look at any one character and think, oh, they're one dimensional. Oh, they're horrible.
No,
This movie took a character that is of a person who I know in like know existing in real life, and I have no desire to meet that person ever. And this movie made that person seem more human.
I want to add some interesting ones because you were talking about character depth. I was reading some South Korean reviews of the movie, and some critics, how do I say, they criticized it for not having that level of character depth. And my thing was like, so this is where relativity comes in. Like, I'm so used to some of the Hollywood characterization. Just for me, this is like Hollywood's award level character writing. You know, like they're calling it like, the like South Korean character drama, and their character nuance has gotten so high level. Just to them, this is not the good character drama. And for someone like me, I'm like, holy crap, that was excellent character drama. Why do I not get this in my generic action blockbusters anymore? It reminded me of an old Tom Clancy classic movie, The Hunt for Red October, starring Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin. And exactly, it was a geopolitical military thriller on a submarine that had Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery. This one,
Also, this is the only movie that I can name where the fart joke did not bother me.
oh yes, Angus McFadden. Brilliant acting, sir. Brilliant acting. And simultaneously, I have to mention one of my favorite, Kwok Do Won. I hope I pronounced that. He's the hero of Steel Rain 1, and I love his performance. Every single time I see him, I'm like yes. And he played such an amazing antagonist. Yes, that would be a correct, because he's not a villain per se. He's an antagonist. This is where the character nuances. Oh, I loved it.
His performance, his acting blows me out of the water.
Yes, every time.
He, especially in Steel Rain 2, he is everything I would want Lex Luthor to be. He is everything that I would want Doctor Doom, the name of the Fantastic Four's villain.
Yeah, Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom. Oh, he would play a pretty good Victor Von Doom if you ever got a South Korean Victor Von Doom. Oh God, the man is a magnificent actor. Magnificent. Oh God, if this type of performance you guys call not good, oh my God, Chika. And I need to also find out the submarine commander. There you go. Shin Jong-gun, I'm guessing, second in command. He was another one who gave an excellent. He was one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Story elements wise, filmography wise, visual effects wise.
Directing and the visuals. Oh wow. Some of the shots this movie has. I wasn't like, what? You should get some awards just for this. Just for this. The sheer creative. Young Woo Seok, the director. His visual sense, you take it from here.
There are very few movies I watch where I feel like the term every frame of painting can apply, and the visuals of this movie to me felt like the work of someone who strenuously storyboarded every single element, from the costumes to the setting to the background to the elements of the characters moving around, like the way this was choreographed.
His directing reminded me a lot of, like, it is his own style. This is what I want to get. I'm not saying, oh, he copied this style, no, but it kind of reminded me of if you mashed Wachowski, Snyder, Spielberg, Cameron, or like all fused them, different scenario, you use different style. But they're also not done like, when I'm talking about a Snyder shot, I'm talking about those wide framing and slow-mo. But they're not done in the Snyder way. It's the same technique, but not done in the same way. Then you have the Spielberg one-ers too. It's the same technique, but it's not done in the same way. So
he took the techniques of greats and made them his own. He put his own style on it. And you can tell his style, which is hyper realistic, across the story.
Oh.
There's no point at which this story feels implausible. There's no point at which you go like, oh, this is clearly a movie written. Like, there are certain elements throughout the entire movie that make you feel like this feels like it's actually happening.
Yeah. Geopolitically, the story-wise, how do I say it? When America does a geopolitical thriller, unless it's Tom Clancy, it's usually fun fluff. It's edgy and fun, but it's never gonna come true. It's usually too dumb. But this one is one of those geopolitical scenarios where when you watch it, you almost go like, oh crap, this is not only most likely going to come true, some form of it is probably most likely happening right now. And we're absolutely not aware of it. And we won't be aware of it till it actually happens. And there's a type of scary element to that. That's what makes it thriller. And this one really captured it. And for someone like me, who's from a political family and military, it a lot of movies don't really do that. They don't capture the, oh wow, this is actually scary in a real sense.
And I've been exposed to so many diplomatic settings throughout my life. Even from just being a debater and model UN, even just those like childhood play arenas, to when you actually go to the UN. And I was interning at the Bangladesh mission for a small period of time, and the way people interacted and how you got work done. And there's certain small elements that people who haven't experienced the UN culture would not know. That, for example, there's a UN language itself which gets distorted because all of these different countries, who for none of them English is the main language, when everyone's writing their different documents, there's going to be all kinds of different interpretations from one language to another, and it coalesces into a beautiful mishmash. And this movie captured that feeling so beautifully.
It captured it really well. It felt like I was watching an international movie. And the funny thing is, Hollywood movies no longer feel international. They're big budget, but they're not international. International, there's an inclusivity. You feel like you're seeing perspectives from the different worlds. You're seeing the different worlds, the different places.
This movie showcased beautifully the struggles of translators.
Oh, that was a good comedy scene. That was brilliant comedy scene.
It was woven throughout the entire movie.
No, but it was funny throughout. Whenever it needed to be funny, it was. The humor on this, I found a very pinpoint precision. There was no fail moment. When the humor wanted to be funny, it was funny. The next scene, when it wanted to be serious, it was serious. And the submarines, they were scary. They were not just, ooh, we're gonna have cool VFX fights now. No. They were scary. They had their own almost characters.
They also worked beautifully with making you worry for the people inside these submarines should anything happen to the submarines, which in Hollywood's movies especially, to me, have been missing of late. Like, it feels like, oh, they're playing war games and people are getting killed, but almost you're waiting for the spectacle of all of the deaths.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to this, you are very much worried for each and every single life. You feel the impact of all of it.
I forgot that you could make even the most mundane, most generic tertiary character. You can feel for the tertiary character if the writing and the directing and acting and the performances are good enough. And this movie was like everybody, like RRR, everybody gave 110%.
And not just gave 110%, but the way the writing made you care. You could tell that it was from the script upwards. That every single character had value. Every single extra was valued.
And considering he was the director as well, he made sure Endpoint reached there as well. Oh, I really like the directing in this movie. It has some of my favorite action scenes. I watched this movie like this will be the third time, and every single time I just love it even more and more. Like, no, this is a movie that's gonna stay with me for the rest of my E. Has the best submarine combat I have seen. That's it. Before this, I would have said Hunt for Red October, but now it's this one.
If we're talking about just in terms of experience, this has to be one of my most favorite movies I've ever seen.
Same. No.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed our thoughts.
Shaitani thoughts.
Shaitani is a fusion of our names. Hope you enjoyed. Please, if you would like to contribute to the conversation, leave a comment. If you would like to hear more from us, let us know. And if you're interested in what we have coming up, subscribe.